technology. All right, Karisa, go for it. We got a house full.
Do we want to start it over, Michala, or are you good? You just want me to pick it up?
Yep, that's okay. I just said thanks for being here, and I introduced myself, but I'll reintroduce myself in my story. So go ahead.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, hello from afar. This is the first time we've done this, and we're really excited to do this. My name is Karisa Halpine. I'm a fitness instructor from Grand Island, Nebraska. And my Ys are up here on the screen. Stan, my husband, Brock, who's 8, Bowden, who's 5.5, and Baylor, who's now 4 months. And they are the reasons why we are so passionate about inspiring healthy living. So we're going to get started, guys, with a few pretty bleak statistics. This is the new childhood in America. 1 in 3 are overweight. 1 in 6 have learning disabilities. 1 in 9 have asthma. 1 in 10, ADHD. 1 in 12 have food allergies. 1 in 20, seizures. 1 in 54 males have autism. 1 in 88 have autism. So half of our kids have a chronic illness or are overweight. And this is the new normal, which is really scary. So this was a real eye-opener for me because my oldest is 8, Michala's is 8, Dr. Rollins is 8 in the room, and there's a lot of young kids. And today, by the time the average child in a developed country turns 8, they've had more sugar in their lives than the average person did a whole entire century ago, which is really scary. So have a lot of you seen the Rethink Your Drink campaign? Anybody? Yeah? Okay. Yeah, absolutely. So this is a real eye-opener as well. I kind of have, this does a great job demonstrating, but I have live ones here, you guys, of how many teaspoons, how much sugar is actually in a lot of these drinks. And until it's broken down into the measurement of teaspoons, you really just, it's something that can be easily overlooked. So, and how you figure that is you take the total grams on the label of sugar and divide it by 4, and that gives you how many teaspoons are in one serving. But the catch to that is a lot of drinks or beverages or food out there have more than one serving. So you obviously have to multiply that number by however many servings, and that's how many teaspoons are in a beverage or a food. So
how many of you know who Jamie Oliver is? Do any of you know who Jamie Oliver? He does the Food Revolution. And one of his demonstrations is that he wheels a wheelbarrow full of sugar cubes onto the stage. It's heaping full. And he chucks it on the stage and it goes all over. And that is the amount of sugar that a child aged kindergarten through 3rd grade eats or drinks in their elementary school life. So kindergarten through 3rd grade drinking 1 or 2 cartons of milk a day, which is absolutely staggering to me. And why do we care about this? 1 teaspoon of sugar depletes the immune system by 50% for 4 to 6 hours. So we wonder why kids get sick after Halloween and Thanksgiving and Christmas and Easter. We sugar them up. They're sleep deprived. We don't want to be that person at Christmas that has the wild kids, so we expect them to behave perfectly. And the result is an attack on their immune system. So this slide depicts toxicity. And this is a diet versus a nutritional rebalancing. So I'm sure most of you know people who wax and wane. You see them one time and they're fairly thin, and the next time you see them, they've rebounded and they just go on that roller coaster. That depicts the top slide. These polka dots here represent toxicity, which is like free radicals is the fancy name for it. And what these are is little guys that are roaming around your system, and they bounce off your organs. They're just trying to get out of your system. They're just trying to be eliminated. And so what happens is you may lose weight, but your organs want to protect themselves. So your organs make fat in order to protect themselves from those like little pinballs that are bouncing off of them, trying to cause disease. And so what you get is a rebound effect. So this bottom slide is called nutritional rebalancing. And what happens here is this person started out, whatever weight they are, and they decided to take in a lot of fruits and vegetables. And so what happens are those fruits, vegetables, and berries latch onto those toxins, And so now they have a buddy, they're a stable molecule, you drink water and they're able to be flushed out to your system. So this is a perfect example of how I have a better, I'm, more toned and have a better body now than when I was even playing volleyball in college, because now my body is, the maintenance has happened because I am taking in fruits and vegetables on a regular basis. So why do we care about fruits and vegetables? Well, I just talked about them latching on to the toxins and being able to eliminate them, but oxidative stress or inflammation causes aging, causes disease. It's the root underlying cause for every disease. And there's nothing better than fruits, vegetables, and berries to neutralize that oxidative stress. So this is a campaign that we've been doing for 1.5 years, and it's called One Simple Change. Have any of you heard of it? So what One Simple Change is we know that it takes 3 weeks for your body to develop a habit. And so we have a theme or an inspirational theme once a month. It's through a Facebook group. And this month is Fall into Fitness. So anytime anyone is working out or whatever, they can throw a picture on that group. And so we focus on 4 things. We focus on drinking more water. We focus on exercising. We focus on eating healthy or eating more whole foods. And then the 4th thing we focus on is sleeping well. And so this has been a great way for us to inspire people and to change really one simple change at a time. So over the course of 6 months, you've changed 6 different things and you're a different person than when you started.
Okay, so what this is it's showing us, again, why are fruits and vegetables so important? This is the pie graph showing what is most consumed in the United States, and that's sugar and fat, which is sad, but true. And you'll notice how tiny of a sliver the produce makes up. So fruits and vegetables, we just do not get enough of them. ChooseMyPlate.gov shows that we're supposed to be, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen that, but we're supposed to be filling our plates half every single meal with fruits, vegetables, and berries. And my brain goes to lunch and dinner, but it's breakfast too. And it's just something that doesn't happen. So we have on our screen, we can't see the 2 to 5, but these are the servings of fruits and vegetables that we're supposed to be consuming this much every single day. 7 to 13 servings, which a serving size is of this size, right? So the 2 to 5 is on our far right, the less on the plate. That's what the average American eats every single day. The plate into that is 5 to 7, and that's what a quote unquote healthy American eats every day. The next one, like I said, is the 7 to 13 servings, which is the USDA recommendation, non-disease state, non-athlete. So athletes on the far left of our screen is 13 to 18 servings of fruits and vegetables that are supposed to be taken in every single day. And it just doesn't happen. It's crazy. So we're going to kind of jump onto another wagon here with high protein foods. We live in a beef country or a beef state, obviously. So, other alternatives that are high density protein foods are chia seeds, barley grass, almonds, kale, figs, pumpkin seeds, Brazil nuts, romaine, maca, avocados, which we have a lot of at the party today. So those are just to name a few there. This slide here, dare to compare. The guy on the left, you guys, is a lot of how Americans are today. We live in a fast-paced, fast food society, and there is hope with being able to. Michaela, can we do something on our end to be able to see the far right?
No, I need to fix it in the thing.
Okay, no, you're good. So in order to be able to, there is hope, and it's never too late to change our eating habits. The picture on the far right depicts, a person who does fuel their bodies more with fruits and vegetables. And, one thing that we've been able to incorporate here in the recent months is something called a 10-day shred. And that helps shred toxins. It helps shred bad habits. It helps shred pounds, it shred inches. It just really makes your body feel good by incorporating more fruits and vegetables in there.
And a lot of times this is daunting, like getting from person the left to the right may seem like an impossible task. And so a lot of people say, how do I do that? And how many of you have heard of Dr. Sears? Okay, so he has an awesome new book called NDD, Nutritional Deficit Disorder. And what he talks about is our nation not having a medication deficiency. Our nation has a whole food deficiency. And so he talks about the foolish five. And if you avoid these 5 things, you're eating 90% clean. So the first is hydrogenated oils. So anything at a fast food restaurant is dredged in hydrogenated oils. And I'm sure most of you are like me and have gone through a drive-through and just felt disgusting a couple hours afterwards. It creates brain fog and makes you not be able to think clearly. The second is MSG, which is a preservative that also causes brain fog. The third is those beautiful little colors that on the shelf look awesome, but they're dyes. And those are actually neurotoxins to the brain. The fourth is aspartame. And so this is kind of sneaky because it's in anything diet, 0 calorie, no sugar, great for, it'll be touted to be great for diabetics. And what aspartame does is it degrades to formaldehyde in your system. And so I grew up in a funeral home. I know well that pickling a person or, pickling anything with a heartbeat is not good. So obviously that's not good for our growing children. And then the fourth one is hydrogenated oils, or the fifth one is hydrogenated oils. So more reasons to eat fruits and vegetables. God's Pharmacy is absolutely amazing. So cherries help calm your nervous system. Peaches are rich in potassium, fluoride, and iron. Watermelon helps control your heart rate. It does about 13 different other things. Strawberries can potentially fight against cancer and aging. Pineapple is a great anti-inflammatory and fights arthritis. Blueberries protect your heart, as do all the deep purple and blue fruits and vegetables. Apples help your immune system and develop resistance to any infections. Grapes, again, relax your immune system. And so prevention is a lot easier than a cure. I have been a community pharmacist for 10 years. I'm only there 2 days a month now. But, when I first started, it was totally my passion. I thought I was really helping people. And the more I know and the more I learn about this kind of stuff, the more I feel like our bodies are like a vehicle. And when the oil light comes on in your car, you can do one of 2 things. You can find and fix the problem, or you can unplug the light. And a lot of times I feel like we're just unplugging warning lights with side effects and medications and stuff like that. So as we said, 75% of disease is preventable, and it all starts with the fork.
Awesome. So the benefits of staying hydrated, hydration has been one of our one simple changes in the campaign, and it's really important. It's a struggle for me to make sure I get enough water, and I know how it is for other people as well. So different things that different benefits of staying hydrated are fluid balance, like you guys can see, fatigue buster. One thing that I love to do that I've just recently started incorporating is before my feet hit the ground in the morning, I have a glass of at least 8 or 10 ounces that have been sitting there the night before. I drink it first before I get out of bed, and it wakes up your organs. It makes you feel a lot better. Blood normalizing, calorie control, productivity boost, clearer skin, muscle fuel, and the toxic remover is going to lead us into the next slide. Because as we know, with the free radicals, the toxicities, the impurities that we have in our body because of the, all the toxic world we live in, causes that oxidative stress, which leads to the inflammation, which causes obesity, diabetes, gingivitis, cardiovascular, eye disorders, allergies, asthma, those autoimmunes that we never used to have that we have now, and the list can go on. Ulcerative colitis, IBS, all those different things.
So we would be remiss if we didn't talk to you about these bleak statistics, how we need to eat a tote full of fruits and vegetables every day, which nobody can do. Nobody has that time. It'd be really expensive. And so we're going to tell you one tool that we have in our toolbox that has been a catalyst for all of these changes within us. We're drinking more water now. We're eating less fast food because we don't crave that. We're obviously eating more fruits and vegetables, and it also improves your sleep. So how many of you like to garden? Do any of you have your own garden? I love to garden. I still love to garden. I just do it in a different way now. And so I would plant a great garden every year in our cattle pen. And eventually, 3 or 4 weeks into it, before the pigweeds took over, usually, I would see a 4.5-foot bull snake in the garden, and that's the last time I would go in the garden. And so every year we'd skid load up the garden and there'd be all these tomatoes on the ground that nobody picked. And so I heard about a tower garden through my uncle. And he said, you know, this is an aeroponic growing system. It's a 20-gallon tank. You can grow 28 different things, indoors or outdoors. And so instantly I was captivated. And so a couple weeks later, a pharmacist friend of mine I posted a picture of hers on Facebook, and I contacted her right away. And she said, have you ever heard about Juice Plus? And I said, nope, we aren't going to juice. I don't do shakes. You know, we're healthy. I just want a tower garden. And she said, well, can I at least tell you about it? And thank God I said yes to that, because I was shocked. She said, it's just 30 fruits and vegetables in a capsule or a soft chew. And at the time, I thought we ate healthy. I offered a fruit or vegetable or vegetable at most every meals, but we weren't getting apples, cherries, oranges, pineapple, cranberry, papaya, peaches, beets, tomatoes, spinach, broccoli, cabbage, parsley, carrots, kale, different oats, Concord grapes, elderberry, raspberry, red currant, black currant. I mean, all of that stuff we're not getting on a daily basis. And I know that it's the spectrum, the rainbow, that actually fights disease. So at that point, when she told me that, I said, okay, sign us all up. It was only $50 a year to become a rep, and there was no minimums, no quotas, or no inventories, but I did not want to share it with a soul. But intellectually, it made sense to me. We have a bunch of, 3 or 4 different products that bridge the gap. So we know we're supposed to eat 13 to 18 servings of fruits and vegetables a day, as our family ate too. So the Juice Plus bridges that gap. We also have a complete protein powder, which Chris is going to talk about. The average American only eats 2 meals a day. We actually should eat 6, so it bridges that gap. And then we have an issue with gardening in our country. A lot of people don't have time to do that. So the tower garden bridges that gap too, and lets people grow indoors or outdoors if they want to. So within 3 or 4 weeks, our entire family was having great results. Marley had struggled with focus and was crawling up on her laps and asking us to read her book after book, which was so heartwarming. Our 3-year-old now was 8 months at the time, and she needed tubes in her ears. And I canceled the tube consult, and she's never been to the doctor since, didn't have to have tubes. As a family of 6, we have not had a single sick visit in 2 years. Our 2-year-old gagged at anything green, and within 2 weeks was asking for a salad and eating seconds. And so I knew our bodies were changing. And so my husband was also in a cannon accident 3 years ago and did not have the pain and inflammation in his leg that he had had before. And with all this new energy that I had, I knew that I had to dive into the research. And so the research is really what blew me away. To get a pharmaceutical drug approved to the market, you need 2 studies on the intended population, and it only has to be 65% effective. And the fact that fruits and vegetables have 35 published studies was just amazing to me. And so I messaged a mom of a kiddo with cancer, and she messaged me back and said, how long have you known about this, and why didn't you tell me sooner? And that's really why we're here today, because I took an oath to do no harm. And by not sharing this information, I really do feel like we are doing harm. And so we're just the messenger, and that's the whole purpose of us being here today. So one of our favorite things that we have done is our Give Back campaign. And one thing I love about the Juice Plus company is they want to inspire healthy living, but they also want to inspire healthy giving. And so this is a project that my kids and I have done since February. And we drop a tower garden off at a nursing home, and we go in once a week for 20 minutes each week. And we plant seeds with the residents, and we harvest, and we teach them how to grow, and they love wheeling their wheelchairs up and grabbing lettuce or mint or whatever it is off there. And it's been so rewarding, even though sometimes we end up singing Jingle Bells in June on the PA system, it's still rewarding. And so the bottom right-hand corner says, why try and explain miracles to your kids when you just have them plant a garden? And so growing your own food really is like printing your own money. I know our tower garden paid for itself in the first 6 months. California is the grower of 90% of our green leafy vegetables, and they're in the second worst drought in history. And our produce is declining in nutritional value. So even if you did eat 18 servings of fruits and vegetables a day, you still are not getting the nutritional content that you did, 30 or 40 years ago. Our soil isn't as nutrient rich. We pick our produce way before it's ripe. And the most nutrition comes on a plant in the last 3 to 5 days of ripening. So we pick them before they're ripe, we truck them 1,000 miles, and we spray them with a chemical to make them look ripe. And I'm sure all of you have cut into a bright white strawberry this summer even probably, and there's not much nutritional value in that. Karisa has a Dar Garden too, and they've had a blast with it.
Yes, we've had a riot. Stephen Ritz is partnered with Juice Plus, and he says that if you teach a kid about nature, you teach them to nurture. And it really is true. My little guys love to plant the seeds, watch them grow in the rock wool cubes, plant them in the garden, watch it grow. I mean, the growth period it's crazy how fast you can have produce and pick lettuce off. So Michala, like she said, we've been best friends since first grade, and she introduced Juice Plus to my family a little over 2 years ago. And I was at a little bit different point in my life when she introduced it to me. I was a single mom of Brock and Bowden, and she'd been my rock, so she knew my circumstances. She knew that, I love to help people. I was kind of looking for a little bit, bigger of a purpose, even though being the best mom I could was the main mission. And she also knew my kiddos before Juice Plus were always sick. And I mean, at minimum in the doctor's office every other month, flooding their bodies with antibiotics. And it's frustrating as moms. And I know I'm sure you guys can all relate when you think you're doing everything you can and they're still not staying healthy. So when Michala introduced it to me, I thought it was really too good to be true. 30 different fruits, vegetables, and berries in a tiny capsule. I was kind of had that thought process, but I thought, I trust her. She's a credible pharmacist. She's my best friend. Why not? You never know unless you try. And I was looking kind of for an answer for my boys. And so for $50, it made sense to me too. No minimums, no quotas, no inventory to lock arms with her and give it a try. So, and we haven't turned back since. So 2 weeks into Juice Plus for myself, I experienced way more energy, and being in the fitness industry and being a single mom, I was going to take everything I could get. Now, the cool thing about whole food nutrition, with it not being a supplement, which I was always used to, vitamins and supplements, is our bodies know exactly what to do with it. And our bodies will use it in the areas that it's needed to be used the most. So everybody's experience is a little bit different. But as 3 and 4 months were rolling around, I was noticing that the boys weren't getting the runny noses and the earaches and the sore throats and chronic coughs that they typically would get. We weren't seeing the doctor. And I thought, wow, and when Michala shared this, I too, just like her, didn't want to share it with a soul. And it sounds selfish thinking about it today, but I just wanted the best nutrition for my boys and myself at the time. And so, my boys' health being transformed and them actually craving more of the good stuff. You flood your body every day with more of the good, you're going to crave more of the good. Just like if you eat more of the bad, your body's going to naturally crave the extra sugar and more of that extra bad stuff. And so my boys' health was the main thing. My husband, being 48, just ran his first half marathon last year. He's never been healthier. He had experienced high blood pressure, high cholesterol for 20 years. And everything is made better with good nutrition. And those numbers are all within normal reads, which is awesome. He feels great. And then for myself, I'm an avid runner. And then I was training for half marathons. I haven't quite gotten back into that distance quite yet after my little guy, but I was running about an 8:30-minute mile and thought unless I, vamped up my training and made time for it, that's as good as it was going to get. And just by incorporating the one simple change of the phytonutrition in the capsules and soft chews, and then the macronutrition, which is the complete, the good fiber, carbs, protein, fat, I was able to shave off a minute off my mile splits. So going from an 8:30 to a 7:30-minute mile for a half marathon distance. So that was nothing but fun. And that really, that really just, that's the research speaking volumes with decreasing the activity stress, increasing the cardiovascular health. It's bioavailable, so it gets into our cells right away. The complete I love because, again, being in the fitness industry, everything across the board, comes your way, and hence the whey protein versus Juice Plus. The whey protein is what I was always used to. It's hard to digest as opposed to the Juice Plus Complete. It's plant-based. So it's a water-washed soy, and we know that soy gets a bad rap because you know, and a lot of it's not the soy so much as how it's chemically processed usually. And the soy complete, the Juice Plus Complete, is water washed soy, so it's minimally processed, and so it's a clean plant-based protein. It's easily digested. It causes bloating, or can cause bloating. This is easy to digest. Like I said, it's alkaline, whey is highly acidic, forming, promotes inflammation, and we have studies to show that it reduces inflammation. The Complete does in our bodies. The whey contains allergens. Ours is gluten-free, you know, so you can see the comparison, and that's the one thing I love, and it has 26 additional superfoods in it that we would not normally eat. It has yucca, which is a root plant. It decreases the inflammation. Spirulina is a super green from the blue-green algae in Hawaii. You know, the beta carotenes increase with the pumpkin powder, the pomegranate powder, which increases heart health. The list goes on, but it's amazing. So anyways, you know, with all of that happening, I went from never wanting to share it with a soul to feeling morally obligated to share it. Learning along the way, like Michala said, 75% to 90% of all chronic disease or health conditions can be prevented all by what we put on the end of our fork. So food really does matter. And, you know, I'm just grateful for her sharing it with me, because I went from a kind of a single, fragile, hopeless single mom to somebody that wakes up with passion and purpose and love inspiring healthy living. So.
Well, as a pharmacist, I also think that I've been approached by everything, almost everything. I'm sure there's a few things I haven't, but I always had 3 questions. And those 3 questions were, is what you're going to put in your body safe in pregnancy? Is it safe in cancer patients? And would you give it to your kids? And I had never gotten a yes to all 3 of those questions. And so first and foremost, I was blown away that Juice Plus has been studied in all 3 of those populations. We have a pregnancy study. MD Anderson did a cancer patient study, and we've got a children's health study that's over 1 million kids strong, where your kids can eat free Juice Plus for 4 years. But these are some other things that also made Juice Plus stand out to me. Number 1 is the longevity. The company's been around for 23 years. Second is the quality. It's tested 6 times from the field to capsule, and there has never been a single recall, never been a lawsuit, nothing like that in 23 years. So that's incredible to me. We also have the laurel to stand on of NSF certification, and that means 3 things. That means, number 1, there's nothing on the label that isn't in the capsule. There's nothing additional in the capsule that's not on the label. And number 3, that it does no harm. And so this certification is what gives collegiate and Olympic athletes the promise that if they're drug tested, nothing will show up in their system with regards to Juice Plus. So there are 3 Olympic teams currently that are Juice Plus teams, and all of their athletes take Juice Plus. Number 3 is the simplicity. We will never have a catalog. There's only 4 products: a protein bar, the shakes, Juice Plus, and the Tower Garden. We have a nutrition label, not a supplement label, so it is just food. It's not taxed in Nebraska, where food is not taxed. Number 4 is the authenticity. We are absolutely who we say we are, and I love that. Just the heart of the company shines through in that fact. And then number 5 is the community. We are one team, one mission. I mean, we've got several people at this even Zoom event, which we have salad in a jars going all over right now, and they're all zooming into this. And we aren't necessarily even on each other's teams. We're all just out for the good of helping people take their health back. And then I mentioned before the amazing body of research. Juice Plus does pay for the product, just like any other pharmaceutical company or anything like that pays for the product to be in the study, but they cannot buy the end result. And one thing that I love to talk about that's kind of scientific, and maybe I hope it doesn't like glaze anyone's eyes over, but one big buzzword in the pharmaceutical world is impact factor. And basically what an impact factor is how many times an article or a published study is cited in other journals. And so most products on the market, especially non-drug products, have an impact factor of 0, meaning they don't even have any research. 90% of the products on the market have an impact score of 5 to 10, and that's considered good. And Juice Plus has an impact score of over 100. So we're in 30 different journals. I mean, it's just absolutely incredible, the amazing body of research that goes along with this. So the research findings, we've talked about a few of them. We know that the gums are kind of the mouth is the gateway to your immune system. And so we've got 2 studies on those. One was a wisdom tooth study that was just published, and that showed that the people on Juice Plus needed less pain medication, and they also recovered quicker. So that's awesome. We have 4 cardiovascular studies. We have 4 studies on the immune system, and all you have to do is kind of look around, and 6 people, no sick visits in 2 years. We don't need a study to prove that. We're living proof. We have 4 studies on the DNA, which is awesome for childbearing women because that's what you pass down to your kids. And in 365 days, every cell in your body is brand new. So it really is never too late. And this is proof of that. And then we talked about oxidative stress and how much havoc that wreaks on the system. And you can see this laundry list of studies conducted on oxidative stress, which truly is the future of medicine. We have a skin study that was a microvascular circulation study that showed that blood flow increased by 39% to the skin, which if you think about diabetic complications, nerve health, kidney health, eye health, erectile dysfunction, skin trouble when they don't heal, all of those are caused by the microvasculature. And if you increase blood flow to all of those areas by 39%, you're never going to be worse off. And then we also have several inflammatory studies. So I'm just going to run through some of our favorite studies real fast. The first one is a fast food study, and I love that the majority of the research done on Juice Plus were different professionals approaching Juice Plus about doing different studies. And so 3 out of 10 healthcare professionals 3 out of 10 Juice Plus reps are in the healthcare community, which really made me feel like I wasn't alone in this endeavor. But a group of physicians approached Juice Plus and asked them to study fast food because 50% of heart attacks and stroke happen after a high-fat meal. So how old do you think that this unhappy meal is? It's 16 years old. I mean, this is a picture from the Smithsonian. It actually looks like you could eat it today, minus this crusty bun. And so what Juice Plus did was they brought a group of 200 people into the lab, tested their blood pressure, fed them a high-fat meal, tested their blood pressure again. And what they found was a 50% vasoconstriction that lasted 4 to 6 hours. So it was 2 times as hard for their hearts to pump that fatty blood through. And that's because of those trans fat, those man-made fats that our bodies don't know what to do with. They recognize as foreign. And so what they did was they sent 3 groups of people home for just 28 days. One group was the placebo group. One group was Orchard and Garden. And then the 3rd group was Orchard, Garden, and Vineyard. And at 28 days, they brought them back to the lab, did the same thing, blood pressure, high-fat meal blood pressure. And what they found was the placebo group was the same. The Orchard and Garden group had a 62% reduction in the vasoconstriction, and the Orchard, Garden, and Vineyard group had less than 2% vasoconstriction. So it was as if they had not even eaten that high-fat meal, which is really impressive.
Okay, so this is the Children's Health Study. This study is 1 million kids strong today. This is incredible when, it's not only inspiring healthy living that Juice Plus lives by, but it's also inspiring healthy giving. And I say that because when an adult sponsors a child on Juice Plus, the child can eat for free when they fall between the ages of 4 and 18 and full-time college age. Up to 4 years they can eat free on the Children's Health Study. So to me, that it just shows the heart of the company right there. With the kiddos being on Juice Plus, some of the things that they've seen are 56% are taking fewer over-the-counter medications, 61% are eating more fruits and vegetables, 60% were missing fewer days of school. These are all things that my boys were experiencing. 66% were visiting the doctor less. 71% are drinking more water. Also, 71% are consuming less fast food and soft drinks. Again, retraining of the taste buds. You put more of the good in your body. You crave more of the good, less of the bad. 89% are more aware of their health, which has just been, that's probably been the most fun part right there. This is a COBRA study. This is also a fascinating study. It's a 28-week long study, and it was done on an elite group of Austrian soldiers, which are the equivalent to the Navy SEALs. And it's about as astringent of a study that can be performed. It was in a controlled environment, so everybody ate this, all the soldiers ate the same thing, ate at the same time, had the same exact workouts, slept in the same areas, had the same amount of sleep every night. And the results showed that the Juice Plus group were able to work out longer, harder, and had, way faster recovery than the placebo group. So it's pretty fascinating. So we've thrown a ton of information at you guys. And so these are just some concepts that you can kind of ponder and leave today with. So this picture is a 73-year-old woman. So it's the same age of a woman. So basically the choice is yours on how we want to pursue our health. Get fit in the gym, lose weight in the kitchen. Being a fitness instructor and being in that profession, I love it. I love fitness. I love motivating people. Exercise is so important, you guys, for anybody and everybody. But, really, for people to see results health-wise and whatever results they're looking for. If you don't, what you put on the end of that fork really does matter. Therefore, food is fuel. And it's so, so important what we're consuming on a daily basis.
You are what you eat, so don't be fast, cheap, easy, or fake. And it all comes back to what you eat, what you drink, and what you think. Those are 3 incredibly important concepts.
So if you give your plants that, which is water, right? Why do we give our kids that? Is a really good question to walk away with. And the greatest health is wealth. A person can have all the money in the world, but if they don't have their health, you're not going to feel good enough to spend it and live a life that you want to live anyways. So that's super powerful.
This is the beginning of anything you want. We are on a mission to have this health revolution spread everywhere. We're on a mission to go against the norm. We do not have to just, be satisfied with the fact that 1 in 2 are going to get cancer and 1 in 3 are going to get diabetes, because we can rage against the normal and we can change. And that's what we're here to do. So we hope that we will be able to partner with all of you in taking healthy back. So now, do you want to explain, Nyla, how to make the salads or?
Yeah. Are we going to eat first?
Yeah, either way.
Okay.
We'll stick around a few minutes to answer any questions. Nyla's going to explain how to make the salads, though.
Yeah.
Do you want
So
to come stand here so they can see?
absolutely. So if you brought jars, if not, that's okay. I have some if you want to take some. And then you just
Somebody's making a shake.
is that what that is?
I don't know.
Wow. Okay. So then it's just the opposite of how you would normally make a salad. So you start with the dressing or the salsa on top, and then you would do the meat, and then all your toppings, and then end with the lettuce or the chips. So then when you turn it upside down and you put it on your plate, it's the way you would normally make it. So you can head to the kitchen and do that.
Yep.